Zomato and Swiggy are the two biggest players in the food delivery segment, but now this industry is no more about food delivery. It is also about which company is dominating in the quick commerce segment, and the most important part is that which company is actually profitable over here. So today in this video, we will do a detailed comparison of the most important data points of Zomato and Swiggy, and by the end of the video, you will know exactly which company is winning over here, which you can hold for the long term. Now let's start with the most important thing over here, which is the market share they have in the food delivery segment. So here we can see market share of Zomato and Swiggy since FY22, and here Zomato has been consistently holding more than 53% of market share, where as of Q4 FY25, they have a market share of 57% and Swiggy is currently at 43%. Now over the next 3 years, the market share of both the companies is expected to be stable, but clearly as of now, Zomato is the leader in the food delivery segment. Now let's look at next data point, which is the gross order value of both the companies. And here in the chart, we can see Zomato gross order value since FY22 has grown way faster compared to Swiggy, where as of Q4 FY25, Zomato has a gross order value of 391 billion rupees compared to Swiggy of 294 billion rupees. And we can see over the next 3 years, the gap in the gross order value is widening. So this means Zomato has more orders, they also have higher order value, and they have strong platform growth. And this data is very important because the growth is happening despite the competition of both the players in the food delivery segment. So Zomato is not just leading market share wise, they're also scaling much faster compared to Swiggy. Now let's look at another important point, which is the revenue and margins of both the players. So during FY22, the revenue in the food delivery segment was similar for both the companies, but the gap between Zomato and Swiggy's revenue has been widening over the last 4 years, and the main reason is because of the Zomato's dominant market share. Also, it's expected that this gap is going to widen more in the coming future. Now let's look at second chart, which is the contribution margin, and here we can see Zomato has higher contribution margin compared to Swiggy. So this means after basic cost, Zomato is keeping more profit per order, and if we combine all the insights, so they have higher market share, higher revenue, better margins, so they have much more better advantage compared to Swiggy. Now let's go deeper and understand more about their take rate percentage and EBITDA margins over here. So in the left chart we can see Swiggy historically had a higher take rate percentage, which basically means they charge more commissions compared to Zomato, but now the gap is closing, which means Zomato is improving their monetization and charges in the commission part. After that, on the right hand side in the EBITDA margins chart, we can see historically both the companies had negative margins, but as of Q4 FY25, Zomato have a margin of 4.4% compared to Swiggy of 2.9%. And over the next 3 years, Swiggy is going to catch up with Zomato in the EBITDA margins. And this proves Swiggy is not giving up. They're aggressively improving their unit economics and margins over here. Now let's talk about monthly transacting users for both the companies. In FY22, Zomato had a monthly transacting users of 14.7 million, where Swiggy had 9.9 million users. And as of Q4 FY25, Zomato has almost 21 million users compared to Swiggy of 15 million. Again, we can see over here that there's a huge difference in both the companies, and this matters because of more users, they get more orders, more data, which is a massive competitive advantage for Zomato. Now, because of more users they have in their application, we can see they have higher number of orders, where Zomato orders are significantly higher compared to Swiggy, and this creates a domino effect. Because of more users, they have more orders, better efficiency, lower cost, and better margins. Also, over the next 3 years, we can see this gap is going to widen much significantly. So clearly Zomato is again leading over here. Now let's talk about other important revenue segment they have, which is the quick commerce. So first, if you look at gross order value, during FY23, it was very similar for both the companies. But after that, we can see Blinkit gross order value is significantly higher compared to Instamart. And over the next 3 years by FY28, Blinkit will have a gross order value of 890 billion rupees compared to Swiggy of 538 billion rupees. After that, if you look at the revenue in the quick commerce segment, it was very similar in FY23, and again after that, we can see the gap is widening over here, whereby FY28, Blinkit will have a revenue of 186 billion rupees compared to Instamart of 100 billion rupees. Now, quick commerce industry is scaling rapidly in India, and again Zomato is leading over here. Uske baad mein, let's take a look at their take rate percentage and EBITDA margins in the quick commerce segment. So this is very important, which is the profitability in the quick commerce segment, where historically Zomato had higher take rate percentage, but gradually the take rate of Instamart is increasing and it's coming closer to Blinkit, where the main reason is they are benefiting from their ad revenue. After that, in the EBITDA margins, we can see both the companies have been under pressure historically, and the main reason is high marketing cost and intense competition over here. Also, it is expected that Blinkit is going to become positive EBITDA by FY28, and currently both the companies are burning their cash. Now let's look at other important point, which is the average order value they have and the number of dark stores of both the companies. So currently as of Q4 FY25, Blinkit has higher average order value compared to Instamart, And the main reason is because they have much better product mix and they're not only dependent on groceries. And यहाँ पे even Swiggy is also trying to improve the same thing and expecting to close this gap in the coming future. After that, if we look at number of dark stores, so historically Instamart had more number of stores, but over the next 2 years, we can see the gap has widened and currently Blinkit has more number of stores. So this means Zomato is expanding aggressively and Swiggy is a bit cautious compared to Zomato. Now let's come to final and most important part, which is the revenue and profitability of both the companies. So during FY22, Swiggy actually had more revenue compared to Zomato, but over the next 3 years, we can see Zomato revenue is higher compared to Swiggy, and the main reason is because of the Blinkit in the quick commerce segment. Also, it is expected by FY28, Zomato will have a revenue of 503 billion rupees compared to Swiggy of 342 billion rupees. Uske baad mein, if we talk about profitability wise, so Zomato become profitable in FY24 where they had a margins of 2.9% and currently Swiggy is still loss making business where they are expected to become profitable by FY28. So after going through every single chart, Zomato is the market leader. They have higher users, more orders, better margins, and they are already profitable. Where compared with Swiggy, they are improving their margins, take rate. They are trying to give strong competition to Zomato, but they are still behind in scale and profitability wise. So thank you for watching this video. What do you guys think? Which is the best company over here? Let me know in the comment section and see you in the next video.